Hey, welcome back to another Creating Characters in Dungeon Meshi video. I'd hoped to get the Kraken Week or Kraken Dungeon second part out by this point, but unfortunately work has been very busy and I'm going on holiday, so I wanted to get something out before I went to tide us over till October, and these are a little bit simpler to put together, as I've said before. The last one on Marcel kind of blew up a little bit. Numbers aren't huge, but for my channel they are pretty extraordinary. It's like over 400. So to anyone who came across that and gave it a watch, at least for a little bit, thank you so much. For everyone who commented and gave me some tips, suggestions, requests, things like that, again, thank you. I will be trying to implement them here. Yeah, no, I really appreciate all that, so thank you very much. Today we're going to be looking at Falin, who's a very important character that we see less of, who I feel like people often misconstrue as to what she is, based on preconceived notions of TTRPGs. I'm going to play with that a little bit. She's going to be a bit more complicated to do because we don't just make a whole party of wizards, but I'll tackle that more in the main part of the video. I'm also going to leave off the combat demonstration for this one, in part due to time, and in part because I think mostly people are interested in the first part, and then I'll do a second video of the combat. I can go into a bit more detail with it maybe in the second part, so they're both a bit shorter, but hopefully it'll still be interesting in their own right, but that will come a bit later. I've also started doing a series of shorts now, because I guess that was inevitable, called Action 60 Seconds. I've only done one at the moment, which is on strike, so it's very basic. But I don't know, sometimes I'm trying to figure out exactly how a Pathfinder thing works, and something that quickly goes through it and gives you an example or two seemed like a good place to start. But I've never made one before, so it's a bit rushed, and honestly probably not the most explanative is not a word. It's not probably the best explained, but it's the strike action, so it's probably okay. But if you've seen that, or check on the channel in the short section, give that a look, that'd be great. Like I said, very much a work in progress, as this all is, but I'd appreciate checking it out. Okay, that's enough waffling for me, but if you're here again, thank you very much for sticking with us, and hey, we're on like nearly 75 subscribers as of the time of doing this. I saw someone say they'd really like me to cover Freerun maybe in this series as well. If we get to 100, you know, try to be positive here, maybe we'll do that. I'll try and get that down as well. I would happily do other characters and things with other shows and games, because it's a lot of fun just creating characters. But yeah, that's enough waffle. Onto the main part of the video. So for Falin Touden, she's also a tall man, a human, I suppose you would say, which I discovered on my recent rewatch. They do point out one point, not particularly strong. So obviously Laius being strong makes sense because he's a fighter, so he needs to be stronger, but he's not strong in the general athletics sense, which is good to know. Doesn't necessarily cross over as well to Pathfinder. But yeah, dwarves are strong, very hardy folk. Tallmen look big, but they're actually weaker. The more you know. So Angelus will remain as human, 8 hit points, size medium, 25 foot speed, and 2 free ability boosts. Background, I had a few we could choose from. I was thinking we could maybe do another kind of researchy one, as she did also go to the wizardry school, the magic school. Before that she also lived in the Northlands, maybe she'd be like a farmer, farmsteader. But then I did see that there was Seer of the Dead. You have been gifted with the ability to see and speak with the departed. This could have manifested at your birth, or when a chance encounter linked you with inextricably spirits of the dead. Their constant presence might feel like a curse, or it might provide you with welcome companionship. And whilst this isn't exactly what we have with Falin, we definitely see that she has a stronger connection of the dead, especially in flashbacks, where she can kind of see the undead that other people can't, and can actually connect with them, and seems to feel some degree of pity for them. So definitely going to go with this one for Falin, and they can have an ability boost to Constitution or Wisdom. So there we go for that class. Now, Wizard would make the most sense. However, we are going to go with Sorcerer to give us a little bit of diversity within the system for a start. But also, because then as a bloodline, we can choose Angelic, which is going to fall apart down the line. But for first level, definitely feels like the kind of thing that would be related to Falin. It gives you the light cantrip and the heal spell, It gives you religion and diplomacy. Bloodline spells are angelic halo for now, which gives you additional healing. I think we'll check that in a moment. And blood magic gives them a divine aura, granting themselves or one target a +1 status bonus to saving throws for 1 round, which again is kind of the whole protection thing, which is very much what Falin is about. It's about protecting people. It's not about attacking. So that definitely feels like the right kind of thing for her. So ability score wise, we are going with nothing in strength. That doesn't really seem to fit the bill for her. We are going to go with some wisdom and some charisma. Falin's, kind of still seems quite, happy to keep to herself when we see her in flashbacks and stuff. But she's clearly got a way of actually communicating people when she wants to. And is quite a calming presence, and is for the undead as well. So if it's a slightly strange direction for it, she's still got some charisma skills. Plus it is the class thing, so we do kind of need it. We're going to keep the background as Constitution. I do feel like she's got some Constitution going. And then for her free 4 boosts, we will go with another Wisdom, another Charisma, a little Dex, and a little bit of Intelligence, giving us 0 Strength, 1 Con, 2 Wiz, 1 Dex, 1 Int, and 3 Charisma. So, skill training. She has already got Diplomacy, the Undead Law, and Religion. Obviously, you can see down there. We're going to give her Arcana. She did go to magic school, after all. We're going to give her Medicine as a healer, and is also quite fascinated about biology and people and monsters and stuff like that, so that likewise makes sense. And Survival, because again, she has, scampered off out of the magic school by herself and found her way into dungeons and things like that, so she definitely has some survival skills. And on the same grounds, we will give her Nature. Could give her Dungeon Monster Lore, like we did with Laios, but nice as God, that we're kind of trying to differentiate a bit. For Heritage, I did consider giving her Skilled Human or Versatile Human, but we're going to stick with the same Winter Touched Human. And that's partly because one of the options we could have gone with is going to be the same, I think, as what General Training will give, which is you gain another General feat, which is what we're going to take here, because we are going to take for her Forensic Acumen, which is when you're trained in medicine and you're good at recalling knowledge, using the medicine skill faster to look for cases of injury or death, which is again this kind of idea about being very intrigued about biology and stuff like that. So that's where we go with that, and that's all of that stuff done. Bloodline is kind of where you get your magic from as a sorcerer. Obviously this is not tie into Falin, because there is at the end of the day a distinction between Pathfinder 2nd edition being a TTRPG and Delicious in Dungeon being a fantasy set, manga, and now show with some D&D TTRPG related tropes, but is not in any way based, as far as we understand, or I understand, on a TTRPG. So wizards can do healing magic in that, and that's fine, but in this system not as easily, especially not wizards, whereas some others like sorcerers can. Obviously lots of people think she's like a cleric, but she definitely does not actually appear like a cleric from what we learn about her. She was definitely went to magic school. She definitely doesn't have any kind of deity she seems to be connected to. So definitely magic. We say here it's more kind of gnomish magic than elf magic that she knows. And that's what we have. So if we look at her spells quickly, from being a sorcerer, she gets granted the spell Heal, which is great. Heal in Pathfinder can be used for 1, 2, or 3 actions, and can be used against willing living creatures, or, to damage undead creatures, because it's life force and they are dead. For 1 action, the spell has a range of touch. For 2, it's concentrate, and has a range of 30 feet. And if you're hitting a living creature, you increase the hit points restored by 8. So that's usually the one people will use. The single action one is useful in a pinch though, if you need to move to someone and heal them and move somewhere else, or do a heal to someone next to you and then do a bigger spell with your other 2 actions. But for the most part, you want to try and be using that 2 action concentrate one. And then the 3 action one is like a burst of healing in a 30 foot emanation, which targets all creatures in the area. You can't focus it, which means you can potentially heal allies and enemies, which is why it's, you know, a bit of a dangerous one. At the same time, if you've got a whole bunch of undead surrounding you, it can be quite useful. But again, that doesn't have the bonus +8 anyway, that's an AoE instead. At high levels, you get more healing. There you go. So she's got heal down there. She also gets the light spell, which is basically the same as light. 20 foot, 20 foot. And you can sustain the spell to move the light up to 60 feet. And attach it or detach it from any creature's part of movement, which is kind of cool. As for her actual spells that she has, well, cantrips first. I'm going to go Detect Magic, just as a general spell that is useful for her to have. And then, again, Falin is very much about protecting people and not attacking. So we're going to do a lot of that kind of thing. So Forbidding Ward, which gives an ally a status bonus to their AC and to saving throws against enemy attacks. Guidance, which is a one-action spell that gives a +1 status bonus to one attack roll, perception check, saving throw, or skill check before the duration ends. Similar to Bardic Inspiration, but a less powerful one. And you can only use it once on someone per hour. And finally, we're going to go Shield to give her some additional protection herself. We saw Marcel using this last time in the combat demonstration. And then as for her 2 first level spells, we're going to go with Bless, which is another burst AoE with a 15-foot emanation that gives all allies a +1 status bonus to attack rolls while within the emanation. And once per round, on subsequent turns, you can sustain the spell, which costs an action, to increase the emanation by 10 feet. And it can be used to counteract Bane, which essentially does the opposite, reduces the ability to attack. Which is a useful spell because it increases the chances to hit, but also, in Pathfinder, if you miss by 10 or more, or hit by 10 or more, or succeed or fail by 10 on increments on either side of the AC or the DC, that's a critical success. So getting a +1 pushes you more likely to hit and also more likely to crit. So it's double duty on that one, very useful. And then also Sanctuary, which is where you ward a creature to deter attacks. It's very similar to how it is in D&D. They have to make a will save if they try and attack them, but if the target uses a hostile action, the spell ends. So there we go. But yeah, lots of spells to help them help others. And then the focus spell, like we talked about, is a one-action Angelic Halo. It lasts for 1 minute. It's a 15-foot emanation that increases healing. Yeah, so allies in your Halo's emanation who are healed by a heal spell gain a status bonus to hit points regained equal to double the heal spell's value. So if it's a level 1 heal, they gain back 2 extra hit points. And that's how that spell works. So other things you have as a sorcerer, you have your blood magic, which is whenever you cast a bloodline spell using a focus point, or a sorcerer's gift spell using a spell slot, you choose one blood magic effect you know to benefit from. You can play the benefit listed in your bloodline and can gain adds to sorcerer feats. So that is, to my understanding, the heal spell that is here, the Blessing Sanctuary, do not count towards this, I don't believe, because they are only the cantrips, and it's only the actual. Sorry. Blessing Sanctuary are the regular spell slots. It's just heal that is here, and focus spell Angelic Halo here. And when those things happen, you gain what you get from this, which is a protecting aura that protects you or a target against saving throws, like we said. And then Sorcerer's Potency means that magic's more powerful because of your blood. When you cast a spell from your spell slots that hit either dealing damage, not likely, or restoring hit points, more likely, you gain a status bonus to the spell's damage, or healing equal to the spell's rank. Obviously this is another status bonus, so they wouldn't work in tandem all the time with your Angelic Halo thing, but if that's not on, then you do also get this, so that's also pretty cool. For gear and equipment and stuff, we don't see Falin with much apart from her, trademark lantern stuff that she will have later, not at level 1, and just her kind of regular equipment. So for now, this is pretty much all we actually need to do. And there you go, that is Falin in Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remaster. Again, she's not just another wizard. It doesn't really make sense for her to be an angelic sorcerer, but the whole vibe of protecting people and doing better with healing magic and that kind of thing, and having a connection with the undead, I think definitely works, at the very least, spiritually speaking, or in terms of the kind of essence of the character, even if mechanically speaking they are not quite the same as they are, which is a bit easy to do the other two. Yeah, as always, if there are any things that I've messed up or got a bit confused over, I've not played a sorcerer, so I may have muddled up some of the mechanics there in my explanation. Please let me know down below, and like I said at the start, I will be back with the combat demonstration for this sometime in October, as well as hopefully more action 60 seconds, weekend one-shots, and the Kraken dungeon, fingers crossed. But until then, I'm going to go rest a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.